Shout out our sponsors, GW Competitions. They run regular draws for you to win different prizes from cash to Rolexes to cars and all sorts. It's all legit and the draw is run through the Google number generator. And the prize is delivered the next day, and if it's cash, it's transferred the same day. The draws are run on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. And you got to be in it to win it.
We're again, Big Ego Media Entertainment, another podcast today, another special guest, and this one is, I wouldn't even say long time friend, I would say more so like family. Like our families have known each other since, I think even before you was born, to be fair.
Yeah.
So from, you guys were in Old Kent Road those times as well. I mean, we used to go to your mom's house as a young kid. And yes, guys, Chris Kongo, man, thank you for coming down.
Love, man, thank you.
So, let's go back. I mean, I'm gonna say where you're from, where your family from, but the surname says it in itself, isn't it? Kongo.
Yeah, of course.
So is that your actual surname, Kongo?
Yeah.
Okay. So where did you grow up, and tell us about your upbringing?
I grew up in Bermondsey / Old Kent Road. That's my area still till now.
Yeah.
And from there.
Yeah. So what was the sort of early life like? What was you into as a very young person? Like life before boxing, like what was you into?
Well, I started boxing when I was 8.
Okay, so pretty young.
It's always been a part of my life. Well, it is my life basically now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's nothing else that I've like really wanted to do apart from that.
What about school-wise? How was you sort of academically at the time?
I was all right, but I always like sort of drifted away from there, and boxing was like my number one thing.
I mean, obviously, me knowing your family, that your older brother Elvis, he's the first one that was boxing.
He started it.
So, I mean, what was it? Why did he want to start boxing? Did you ever tell the story? Like, was it something that was dad into it at the time? Or?
My dad done a little bit of training.
Yeah.
So what it was is that he tried out different sports, and boxing was the one like that he really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So that's what got him into the sport.
And you, as a younger brother, looking at that, is that what kind of influenced you at the time?
Yeah, of course, because I used to see him win fights and whatnot. So it kind of got me into it. And from a young age, anyone that's from like the ages of 8 or 6, whatever they get into and whatever they like, just whatever they're into and what they keep doing is what they'll always do. Me personally, what I think anyway.
And you came from a household where both mum and dad was there. I mean, how important was that for you in terms of just like having, because we hear all these stories all the times that where dad wasn't around, but your parents were always there at the same time. So what was it? How important was that for you to have to see that?
That was very important, but at the start there was more of, you know how it is, go to school, go to university. So that was the thing. Yeah. But at the time, the more time I spent in the gym, the more I started getting better and better and better. And I'm just one of them quick learners that I pick up things very quickly. A lot of coaches have said it, even till this day. So I just think that it just drifted me apart from like the university stuff.
I mean, you said drifting you apart from the university life, but of course also us being from where we're from in Southwark, the gang culture was very rife at the time as well. So like, I probably you won't want me to say this, but I remember your older sister Nancy, she was a bit, what's the word? She liked the agginess of stuff. I remember one time like we was having this sort of conversation and she'd be telling me this story about this fight and that fight there. So what was it about, I guess, you guys growing up? Because I don't think any of you guys ever got in trouble that way. What was it about you guys kind of growing up that kept you away from that? Because it's right on your doorstep. It's happening right in front of you.
It was there, and there was a gang like in our area called Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So that was local. But the thing is, for me, I feel like boxing took over that for me. So when guys was going to jail, getting into madness, I always find myself in the gym working. So that's what it was.
But there's never a thing that where you felt tempted to hang out. I mean, the day they hang around, you never thought, oh, you know what, I'm gonna come and jam with these guys, or it's just not. I'm disciplined. I'm not going.
Yeah, but there was times I did chill with them, but I always had a vision from young.
Yeah.
So that was just what I wanted to do, you know.
So when your second brother also got into boxing, and I know he went to the Olympics and everything like that as well. I mean, at the time, how proud was you when you're seeing him? And was that you know what?
It wasn't the Olympics. He went to the Worlds, the Europeans, so he was doing it big anyway.
Yeah.
And he was that close from going to the Olympics, but in the Worlds he had lost to one of the top contenders in the world at the time. But I believe he won that fight. But yeah,
not just bias.
Not just bias. Yeah. If he lost, I'll say he lost. I'm a real guy.
Yeah.
So I believe he won that fight. But obviously, no one sees the international stages, the international fights that happen. When fights don't go a certain way, no one sees that.
I mean, how difficult is it, and how problematic is it in boxing that when you go to another country where the judges are from that sort of place, and then you feel the injustice? How do you sort of take it?
I mean, I've been in that situation, you know, and I always know there's light at the end of the tunnel. So whatever happens, we just gotta keep moving forward regardless. A loss is a learn. It's a lesson learned. So that's how I always took it, you know.
I mean, you've been boxing now for what, over 20 years now, say, or 20 years or so?
20 years, dead on now, yeah.
So it's like, you've been going through the ranks and fighting, and why do you think then you didn't sort of reach the higher heights that you should reach? Because only before your last fight, you've never lost a fight. You've won all your fights or drawn or whatever, but you've never lost. Why has it not been Chris Kongo, the prominent name in UK boxing that it should be?
As an amateur, I was on Team GB myself. So I know certain places where I went to a few of the top tournaments. I done my thing out there, medaled and stuff.
Yeah.
Even boxed with a sprained hand, and even still managed to get a medal. So for me as an amateur, I was at the heights. Being Team GB, there's only like 30 to 40 fighters on the squad, and you're talking about the whole of England, Scotland and Wales. So that was a big achievement for me, just being on the team, not going to different tournaments and fighting. But that's amateurs. As an amateur, I knew, me personally, I knew who they were going to select for the Olympics before the Olympic team had been selected.
Yeah.
I already knew who they was going to pick. So I didn't want to waste my time and just stay there, wait for another Olympic year. And then when that Olympic year comes, they don't even pick me.
Why did you feel they were going to pick you?
Because I believe, me personally, I believe they know who they're going to select.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe. No matter what. So I believe they know who they're going to select.
So is that the reason why you decided to go to professional?
Yeah, that's the reason why I turned pro, 2016.
So, I mean, what are the advantages of being an amateur then?
The amateurs compared to the professional ranks, yeah? So amateurs, if you're good, if you're winning your fights, you're going to get to where you want to get to.
Yeah.
So if you're good, if you believe you're one of the best in the country, you have to beat everyone, go through a tournament called the ABAs, Amateur Boxing Association, beat everyone and get onto Team GB.
Yeah.
Once you get onto Team GB, then you're a top athlete in the country.
Okay.
That's what it is. As a professional, it don't matter if you're good, it don't matter if your face don't fit the picture. If you can put bums on seats, if you can get numbers out, if your numbers if you got 50k followers, yeah, you can get all the glory in the world.
So basically, put it this way then. I'm 35 now. I've got a bit of an Instagram following. I'm trying to get back in shape. So if I said, you know what, cool, I want to become a professional boxer at 35.
Yeah.
Can I become a professional boxer, or do I need to go through a system?
You just have to get your license.
So how do you pay for a license?
Yeah, you pay for your license. It all depends what the British Boxing Board of Control, if they are going to select you to become a fighter.
Okay.
So it all depends. If you can pass your medical, you have to do a brain scan every year. You have to do a medical test every year. All results have to be negative.
Yeah, I think my lungs and lungs might fail this. To be fair.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the moment you became sort of professional, how different was it for you? Because I guess as an amateur with Team GB, you're getting all the support and the sort of supply and everything. So when you become professional, how was that transition originally?
It's difficult because as an amateur, you're getting paid to box.
Yeah.
Your physio is sorted, sparring partners is sorted, is right there. You're going to different tournaments. As an amateur, all you have to do, being on Team GB, all you have to do is box and train. That's it. As a professional, you have to go and look for your manager. You have to go look for promoters. You have to pay your physios. You have to pay your own sparring partners to come and punch you in the face.
Okay, wow.
Do you understand? So
what are the costs of all those things that come out to you, like per fight?
Listen, I'm not at the heights yet of heights. So I've known sparring partners. I've heard top fighters, they're paying sparring partners. They're spending like 50 grand on sparring partners. Do you get what I'm saying? Getting different guys coming in different countries just to get the rounds in, you know? So it's expensive.
And at the beginning, was it a thing that where you was you had a management team that was working with you, or was it like family took over at one point, or how did it work with you?
No, I still got a management team till now.
Yeah.
So even to become a professional, you need a manager in the UK. So before you turn pro, you have to have a manager to sign you. Then you get your professional license.
Yeah. And do you remember your first fight as a professional?
Yeah, I remember that. You come as well.
Was that your first?
You was there. That was my first ever fight when you come.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
I thought you mean all these years. So all these years just fighting was just
I was amateurs. Yeah, I had 90 fights as an amateur.
Recent. That's like what 5 years ago. 6 years
Yeah, that was 2016.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was my first fight, and everyone went mad. The crowd went mad. I sold a few tickets. I sold out. You were cool.
Okay.
Me and Richard Riakpo.
Yeah, that's
that was mad. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to go and support always. But yeah, so I thought you was a professional. I mean, I was in jail from all those years.
So them times I was still fighting on Team GB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So, I mean, what has been the biggest hardships of being professional? Like, what's the thing that really you think, oh, fucking hell, man, this is long?
I would say trying to get fights.
Yeah.
Me trying to get fights has been hard. Obviously, I've been with certain managers, they couldn't get me on big platforms, you know what I mean? Which is hard. And it's like, I'm doing all this work, I'm spending all this money. What is going on? What am I doing? You know what I mean? If these guys don't want to fight, what am I in this for? Because I'm in here.
Why are people not wanting to fight? Is it because they're scared they might get defeated, or is it just like they don't think it's the right fit for them? How does it work?
It's a business, innit? So if I don't have nothing, if I don't have a title, people might look at me and think, raw, this guy's a bit too dangerous for me.
Yeah.
So let me avoid him and maybe fight him.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like everyone wants to keep this precious that what Floyd done, 50-0. Everybody wants that. But I think now we're sort of coming out of that now, because you see AJ took a loss a couple years ago. This person took a loss, their first loss. I took my first loss. So it's like, I think we're coming out of that because of COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now in COVID, the best have to fight the best, because that's what people want to see. But still, till now, them fights ain't happening.
I mean, just go through that, because you just mentioned there, like your first loss. Before your first loss, how many fights did you have?
12.
12.
I was unbeaten.
So, how confident was you going into the fight? Did you study the guy? Did you think, yeah, this guy should be a walk in the park, or did you miss?
No, I always knew it will be a tricky fight.
Yeah.
But me, I'm a person, I fight anybody.
Yeah.
In the amateurs, as an amateur, everyone fought each other.
Yeah.
As a pro, no one wants to fight each other. So before I fought him, I fought another guy, Luther Clay. I was inactive for 16 months.
Okay.
So I didn't have no fights, just due to issues over here, management, this person don't want to fight. I trained for a whole camp, and the week of the fight, this guy pulls out. He don't want to fight.
And you lose all that money.
And the money that you spend through camps, you don't get it back.
Wow.
Unless you got sponsors.
And so how hard has it been to sort of to get the sponsors? How difficult has it been with that?
It all depends. Sometimes sponsors can be word of mouth. This person might sponsor you, whatever.
Yeah.
This person might sponsor you, whatever. So you just got to go out there and search,
Yeah.
you know, and try get the big endorsements so you're good for the whole year or something.
I mean, you rep sort of Bermondsey. How massive has it been, that support of that side? Are the people sort of following you and championing you as one of their own from that area?
Yeah, of course. I'm getting a lot of support from my local area, which is good. And I'm due to start doing a lot of community work as well now. Boost up my profile even more and just keep doing what I'm doing.
I mean, you're saying now with Dillian White, how did that come about?
I knew Dillian since 2016.
Yeah.
So when we was in Miguel's gym in Brixton training, he used to train as well.
Yeah.
So we used to mingle about whatnot. And his thing was, these guys, no one's really looking at them. Me, Richard Riakpo, Pesta. No one was really giving us that time of day.
Yeah.
So he said, you know what? Let me grab the man them and put them on the undercard.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what he done. So he basically gave us a platform to do what we need to do. And now we're on the big stage. So we're on the good shows. We're getting the airtime that we really need.
And so, like you said, so how does it work then? So he's sort of become sort of management and sort of teach you guys on board. So then once he has a fight, he puts you on, so you guys get paid for that, but then he will take a cut as well from as a management as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as I'm fighting.
I always tell people,
You know what I mean?
Some people will say, don't have a manager, but I always say, what's 20% of zero? Zero.
Yeah,
What's 20%? If someone gives you £500, 20% is more than you had before anyway.
Of course.
So I always tell people management is very important. So how instrumental has he been in kind of getting you fights now? I think that's the first fight he done with you as well.
No, I had 2 fights. I've had 2 fights with him. Very instrumental. So the first time I signed with him, within 3 weeks later, he already had an opponent for me.
Yeah.
He said, I got you a fight, and this time, and then COVID hit. So I was supposed to have my first fight last year, March, but then COVID hit, then we had all that time, and then I ended up fighting in August on his undercard when he lost to Povetkin. So I was on that card. So he had me active straight away, you know what I mean? Which is good, and that's what, as a fighter should always be active, should never stay inactive, because it's not good. You know?
So when right now, I mean, let's talk about the defeat then. So you got defeated, and after it's happened, how do you feel morally? I mean, do you feel deflated? Do you feel, this, or it was like, you know what, it happens to everyone? Or did you feel like, how could that happen to me? It was that sense of embarrassment a bit sometimes, or how did you feel?
It's never an embarrassment, because it's 2 men going to fight each other, you know what I mean? So it's all, respect is always due to us fighters and to any fighter out there in the world. But for me, obviously, I was distraught. That's my first loss as a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My belt is gone. I'm thinking, where am I going to go from here now? That was the question. But for me, I feel like this is time to bounce back now. Yeah. Show people who you really are. And another thing for me is, don't leave anything to the judges.
Yeah.
Because when you leave stuff to the judges, this is what happens.
I mean, how dangerous is it to go for a knockout? I always tell people, like, why do you go in there? Like, obviously, like I said, I'm not clued up in boxing, right? I just know on road, man, punch man up. It's a fight. So you try and go and knock someone out quickly, but obviously that takes a lot of energy. So is there a thing that you trying to do that strategically might be wrong? How does it work, kind of thing? I
mean, it all depends. It's all about setting game plans, setting traps, and doing whatever you need to do to get the win. But I believe you got a good corner, you got a good team in your corner. As long as you can set up your traps and set up a good game plan, regardless of who you fight, you'll get the win. You know what I mean?
What weight are you fighting at the moment?
Welterweight currently.
Welterweight. Yeah. And is that the weight you want to stay at?
I would like to stay at the weight, but a lot of people telling me I'm still growing. A lot of people say I'm already big for the weight. Yeah. Because at 6'1" to weigh in at 10 stone 7 is like,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? Talking about old school fighters like Tommy Hearns and stuff. they were tall for the weight, and they eventually moved up. So I know I'm eventually going to move up. But right now, for me, making the weight is no problem.
I mean, who's the best fighter in your division in the UK, if not you?
Me. Who else is there?
I say, if not you, who?
If not me, there's a few names. I would like to say the guy that beat me, McKinson, he's up there.
Yeah. Is he British?
Yeah, he's British. Yeah. To be honest, nobody wanted to fight me or him.
Okay.
So we said, yeah, let's have it out.
How many rounds did that one go to?
10 rounds.
10 rounds.
Yeah.
And is there a thing that where you could get a rematch out of that, or?
I want the rematch. He doesn't want the rematch.
Why is he saying there's no rematch?
Because he's won the fight. He don't want the rematch. Only he knows why he don't.
So beforehand, I've been seeing the whole controversy right now in regards to the whole Wilder, and before the match, wasn't that a thing that where you kind of put in a contract? Well, in a contract, like if this happened, we want a rematch, or
of course,
did you guys not think of that at the time?
But it's not that we didn't think about it. That wasn't on the cards.
Okay,
you know what I mean. And we ain't as big as Wilder and Fury.
Yeah,
for us to have contracts and rematches and all of that. Yeah. So even a contract. We made the deal, we made the fight happen, this is what's going on, this is how much you get paid. But I didn't sign the contract until the week of the fight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the fight was made anyway. So it's one of them ones. Until I get to a stage where I'm like the Joshuas, the Furies, to that big stage, to the world title level, because right now I'm still British level. So once I get to that level, then we can talk about rematch.
So how do you get to that next level then? What do you have to do to get to that? Just keep winning fights?
Just keep winning fights. You got to just keep building your ranking.
Yeah.
So fight British guys. I'm pretty much in my division. I had 16 months out and I come back and I fought 2 guys in the top 10 and nobody else has done that. Everybody else don't want to fight each other. But I just come out from nowhere and I fought these 2 guys. So I feel like the best thing to do, build up your own following, fight whoever you're gonna fight, beat them, and just keep moving forward.
I mean, I was saying this off camera as well, because what your friend was saying earlier was that sometimes you kind of need to sort of build up that hype, and you always come across to me as someone that's very serious, someone that's very mild-mannered, someone that's very respectful.
Of course.
Do you think, as positive as these things are, kind of does you a disservice in regards to how people perceive you and fight? Because you do the job in the ring, but sometimes people want that sexiness of how Ali was trash talking, how maybe Chisora sometimes trash talks, but that's not your personality per se. So do you think that might count against you sometimes?
Yeah, I ain't like that, man. You know what I mean? I just like to fight, bro. Just get in there and do what I need to do. But as far as trash talking, it's not my thing, and I don't want to be an actor. I'm not an actor. I'm a real life person. I'm just a real life fighter, and I just love to fight. So me trash talking is not in my. It's not in my nature.
I mean, also in regards to sort of just boxing, because from what I sort of understand from what you told me, it's like it just depends on how big the ticket sales are. So is it a thing that where a professional boxer might not be making enough money to even sort of survive sometimes? Is that how it might work? Or
of course, so, some you get some professional fighters that actually work.
Okay.
And they work part-time or they work full-time and they box full-time. Yeah. So it's hard until they get to a certain level. Like there was a fighter who was doing night shifts in Tesco, but he kept winning, won the British title, then moved on, and now he's boxing full-time, doing what he loves for a living. Yeah. So sometimes it's all about the sacrifice that you have to make to get to that level, you know, and you need a support system around you. So whoever's supporting, whoever you can take whatever tickets off you to go and watch you fight, that's the best thing, you know.
Has there ever been a point where you think, you know what, I'm done with this, man?
Yeah, of course. This was when I was out for 16 months. I didn't fight. And I thought at this point, I said, listen, nobody wants to fight. This manager's moving mad and can't get me any fights. What is the point? What am I doing this for? I'm spending all this money in camp, having to borrow money from my brother My brother's let man bare peas. Having to borrow money from him just to do this, just to get in camp and do this. And then I get to the week of the fight and this person say, oh, nah, they don't want to fight no more. Something's happened. Oh, he's injured. Oh, this has happened, that's happened. So I got to a point where I thought, there's no point, man. And then that's when Dillian come and he said, look, come with me, I'll put you on. And my first fight was a 10-rounder against someone that was active, but he had a title. You know what I mean? So he got me straight in the mix.
And what do you call it? There's no sort of insurance policy that if someone quits, like say, okay, if you quit, then you owe us this money.
Insurance policy for what?
There's nothing like that.
None of that. None of that. If me and you are fighting and we're deep in camp, 4 or 5 weeks in, that's all right, because if you say, oh, you got injury, I just might be able to scrape another opponent. But if you come to me and you say, oh, I pulled out, I got injury there, to get another opponent within a week on the small show scene, which is like the come up, which I call it the come up scene, then it's a lot harder to get another opponent. Nobody wants to fight. Who wants to take a fight in a week's notice? It's hard. So it's just one of them ones.
So I mean, going forward, like what can we look forward to? You got a fight lined up soon?
Should be hoping to fight in August next. So I'm just keeping up with my training as usual and just doing what I need to do.
How many fights do you boxers normally have per year? Is it 2, 3 or?
Depends. Right now, I'm like 3, 4. You know what I mean? If I can get 2 more fights at the end of the year, I'll be happy. And then when you get to a level like Fury or the big guys, you're talking about having 2 fights a year. Yeah. So it's one of them ones.
I mean, what's the hard? Because as you know, I've been saying I've been trying to get fit again, but I get so lazy sometimes. But when I'm actually working out, I like it. I enjoy the feeling after. What's the most grueling part of training that you think, this is long?
You know what? If I could, it's mad. I do like running. I do like running and I love sparring because it's just, sparring is like, basically like fighting. It's the closest thing to fighting. So I think just in general, it's just everything's hard, bro. It's never easy. I think boxing's the hardest sport.
How long do you sort of run when you're running?
All depends. I do long runs. I might do 10 miles. 12 miles. Sometimes I might do 3, might do 6, might do 8. So I mix it up.
I just about to do 5 kilometers, and the other day I couldn't even do 5. I did 3. I stopped for a little while, and like you said, you took 16 months out. How difficult is it to get back in shape quickly? Because I was doing 5K. The first time I was doing it, I got to 34 minutes. I said, what the hell is this? And I got it down to 26 minutes. And then I hadn't done it for like 3-4 weeks, and then I tried it the other day. I only could do 3K. So you took 16 months out. How hard was it for you to get back into shape? Or was it just natural?
The key for me is I was always training regardless. But at the time, it was just like, nah, this is my last training session, man. I can't be bothered. But I would still go the next day. I would still go every day. I'm going. So it's mad. But yeah, I was always in shape. Always stayed in shape.
What keeps you motivated even when things are going? What keeps you motivated to go on the task at hand?
Like I said, the vision, man. I have a vision. You know what I mean? I know what I want. So I'm gonna go get it regardless. Regardless, even if there's a little blip in the road, we just have to just keep moving, man.
I mean, obviously you're Congolese as well. Do you feel that you get the backing of the... And what you call it? Isaac is Congolese as well, right?
Yeah.
Where the hell did that name Chamberlain?
I don't know. You have to ask him. Still,
what Congolese guy was named Chamberlain from where? Because I had a school teacher called Mr. Chamberlain. I'm like, where'd you get Chamberlain from? It should be like... I don't know, Mambanga or I don't know, but anyway.
But I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him still.
Yeah, but do you feel that you get the Congolese support in the UK and worldwide? Do you feel the love?
I get the support. I get the support now, but before there weren't really a support like that. If I'm honest, it was more of like they wanted to see something.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like my community is like. They want to see something. So when they see me on Sky Sports fighting, that's when they support.
Yeah. I think as well. I think it's very important as a community. I think that we need to galvanize and say when one of our brothers is fighting, like, yo, make it a day out, make it night out. Let's go and support. Let's go and buy tickets and go and see. Because if we are doing it, then it makes the people hit. Oh, what? You got 300, 400 Congolese people coming to watch him. Alright, cool. We need to put him on the bigger card. So it's the thing that where the Congolese community, definitely, even Congolese community, Southwark community, all the people coming behind.
All the communities, man. Whoever can come out, you know what I mean? So it's just one of them ones.
So when do you envisage yourself kind of like, let's say things go plain sailing for the next few years, when do you see yourself sort of quitting boxing? Because as you get older as well, the blows to the head and things like that will take its toll. When do you sort of kind of envisage yourself? So, you know, what age would you say, you know, yeah, it's a wrap now?
It all depends. I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. Yeah. I've only thought about stuff that I want to do after boxing, but not like what age am I going to stop, you know? So that's what it is.
And with your older two brothers who also box as well, are they coming to your matches a lot now? They're still kind of supportive? Are they still fans of boxing itself?
Of course, they're always there watching, seeing my mistakes. Elvis comes to the gym all the time, so when he can come, he's there. So that's what it is.
So any sort of kind of final words you want to just talk to the people out there to let them know who Chris is, kind of thing, and what plans for the future, basically?
Plans for the future, just keep working, get more titles, and just motivate the people, the community, and just keep working hard, man. So that's my main aims right now.
All right, guys, that was Big Ego Media, and that there was Chris Kongo.